Hello again everyone, it's Marco from Diablo3GoldSecrets.com. Today I want to talk to you about a few things I've noticed from patch 1.0.8 and two new markets that I haven't really talked about in the guide. I've mentioned them in the forums, but never really explained how they work in the guide. So let's talk about them. The first one is Unity. The second one is Winter Flurry. Winter Flurry is a low-level offhand. Unity is a high-level ring that a lot of players need. So what I go with are primary stat, attack speed, and life on hit. Most of my unities that have sold were intellect unities. Now I don't know if that's a pattern. I think every class basically wants these, but for whatever reason I've found more unities to flip and they've been successful. These sell for a decent amount. A lot of the ones I flip are worth 100 million, 150 million gold, and I sell them for like $12 to $15, okay? And right now at the current exchange rate, you get about 26, 27 million per dollar, okay? So that's a pretty good jump. It's almost double my money every time. And it doesn't sell right away. Sometimes I have to reduce my price a little bit over time, but eventually it does sell. Winter Flurry is the low-level offhand, like I said. It's for wizards, all right? Now, all the fancy stuff that can roll on it, don't worry about that stuff, like the arcane power for crit and max arcane power, whatever can roll on it. Don't worry about that. What you need is pure damage and stats. You want 3 to 5 damage, 3% cold damage, intellect as close to 17 as possible. You want to have a socket on there, and finally you need vitality. If you have this great combo, and this is the hardest thing to get, this 3 to 5 damage, because I believe that is the most you get. That's all I've seen at the high end. But when you have this nice combo, it sells for a decent amount, a couple bucks. The Unity, like I said, was 10 to 15. The Winter Flurry, most I've sold is $4. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you know the stats to check for it and you find one of these babies, it's an easy sell. It'll sell really quick. If you want to flip it for gold, go for it. But I find it's easier to sell low-level stuff for money sometimes than gold, because the players who are using it, if they're not re-rolling at all and have tons of money, if they're a new player, well, if they want new gear, sometimes they got to fork over some money. Okay, so let's talk about patch 1.0.8. I have made a lot of money, yet real money, from rares, low-level rares. What I'm doing is I'm looking through the auction house at different level brackets, like 3 levels at a time, 12, 15, 16 to 19, that kind of stuff. And you don't want to look at just one level when you're searching either. You want to look at a bracket, because sometimes the levels before the one you're looking at are better. The stats are better. If I look at a level 16 pair of pants and they look great because there's no other level 16 pants, but then you look at level 14, it's way better, has more stats. You have to look at a little bracket. Plus, there could be legendaries in that area, 15, 16, 17, that are way better than anything you're going to find, and that's why they're not on the auction house, okay? So keep all that in mind. I talk about those in the videos. Make sure you go through some of those videos. Even if the prices are wrong, pay attention to the way I think. With selling these unities, usually I'll be like $15. All right, it didn't sell. $14, $13. Like, I lower it until it sells, and that's a good way to get an average number of sales, an average number of money back, instead of continuously pricing at a certain point. So let's take an example here to just show you how crazy low-level rares are. Now, I've sold more rares than legendaries, and I know a lot about legendaries, so with the rares I'm kind of just feeling around, seeing what I can find, playing with it, not really sure what's going to happen. Well, they all seem to sell. And like I said, I go through little sections and find the winners, the really good items, buy them out and sell them on the real money auction house. Level 19 rare, 24 ink, 24 vitality, experience, don't worry about the number, the fact that it's on there, and 2 sockets. How much do you think that goes for? And I can tell you that I was not searching for experience. All right, that's just like a little bonus on the item. I was searching for 2 sockets, vitality, intellect. This is the only one that came up for level 19. And I was looking at, like, I think 16 to 19, okay? And it sold for, let's use red, so people are complaining about the blue, so let's use red. $2.50. So it's really minus $1. It's really, I got $1.50 out of this item. How much gold do you think it cost me? $46,000 gold for $1.50. You know, and when I search for these items, I start all the way at the bottom of the barrel, level 1, and I work my way up. I stop around level 25. You know, at that point, there's a lot of legendaries in the game, and it's really not worth looking, in my opinion. I'm more focused on the lower levels when people get a lot more bang for their buck for their stats. You know, you make huge leaps in damage, and it's very rewarding and fulfilling when you go from having like a level 10 pair of pants, you know, with 8 intellect on them, and then you jump up to 24 and you have 2 sockets and you put gems in them and you're just like a god because you've added so much damage to your character. That's the feeling you want to go for, and that's why they actually do sell for money. And don't just look at level 19, okay? Look at level 1 to 25, and don't just look at pants. Look at anything that has stats, especially the items that you can plug a gem into. Helms are different, but they should have experience and a gem, and certain legendaries come into play that really hurt helms, but there's still some that you can sell. Now, all that being said, bracers, shoulders, they sell for a lot and they don't have sockets. So take a look at the gamut, explore a little bit. Maybe I'll do a video on this soon, but I wanted to point out 2 additional markets for you to look at. And my phone's ringing, so I've got to go.